Yes, my name is Adema Adejaye. It's been a wonderful one. Happy New Year to you guys. Sorry that we've not been around for the past couple of weeks. Of course, we've been busy. Kachi has been making more money for us, doing marketing on the side, and we're trying to rebrand the product as well. Of course, we're not where we want to be, but we're getting where we want to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a wonderful weekend, especially when you look at what happened to AC Milan against Inter Milan this weekend.
You
Uh,
don't have to. You didn't have to go there.
looking forward to the Super Bowl. Everybody keep talking about the Super. I'm looking forward to Kendrick Lamar's um,
Performance, yeah.
after performance halftime show, and of course we'll be talking a whole lot of things today. But I'll let Oracle Kachi go in and introduce himself.
Sports fans, nothing much to say than to say a big thank you and a happy new year, no matter how belated it sounds. Not only is it a new year, but this is the first Sunday in February, and we're so happy to bring this show to you live and direct. And you know what they say, when you've been away for so long, it's really because you are preparing something really great. And this weekend felt as if we were going to compensate you for the 4 weeks of absence on your airwaves. Not only did Imanov probably put the final nail in the coffin of the last style bender um, in UFC 306. We also got David Benavidev cementing his status as probably one to consider for the pound for pound fighter right now. Already fight of the year for me, in my opinion.
Oh wow!
Sir Lewis Hamilton is now in all red of Ferrari. What will this portend in the 2025 F1 race? We'll also get to see. And Manchester City, they started playing Kendrick Lamar's Humble at the end of that drubbing. We thought it was a one-off, but it looks like there's crisis on the blue half of Manchester. So many things to discuss.
Crisis.
I can't wait to go through this. And what better way than to tell you I woke up to the blockbuster news that my man, Luka Doncic, the Real Madrid's former star, is now going to be the newest star of the purple and gold of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for a great one.
Yeah, that's a crazy one, Akachi. But I want to start from the Super Bowl. I'm not the biggest guy when it comes to football, so I'll let you take it over. But a question for you:
Yes.
If Patrick Mahomes wins the title, the Super Bowl,
Yes.
does it make? He has already make a case for himself, right? But does the case become stronger? I don't believe in rings. It's not about rings. It's about what you can do or what you've done. Rings are part of it. You can flash that I have 6 rings, I have 7 rings. Just the way I will get to that shortly while we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. But does he have like a valid argument to say, yo, I'm the best and the greatest of all time as it stands today?
Devo, the short answer is yes. If Patrick Mahomes should ultimately win next week Sunday, he will become the first quarterback to ever three-peat. It has never been done in the over 100 years history of American football. He's going to become the first quarterback to also win 4 Super Bowl championships before he even turns 30 years old. It's never been done before. He's already a surefire Hall of Famer with the kind of career he's had. He's played 7 years as a professional, as a starter in the league. And for each 7 years, he has either gotten to the Super Bowl 5 times or at least to the conference championship twice. So he's never lost out before the conference finals in his career. No other quarterback, no other player can even dream of such a career right now. So the argument already has started, even with 3 Super Bowls, that he's arguably on pace to eclipse Tom Brady, who right now the whole world sees as the GOAT, simply because he has 7 championships, having been to 10 Super Bowls. Unprecedented. But if this young man, Patrick Mahomes III, should get and win his fourth championship, ladies and gentlemen, even I in my house, I'm already in denial, but it becomes so difficult to deny the greatness of Patrick Mahomes anymore. The truth is, the two teams playing are like, I'll probably call them my second favorite and third favorite teams, because I think I have a soft spot for the Philadelphia Eagles, who are representing the NFC. I said this during our production call that Patrick Mahomes will be the reason why great quarterbacks in the AFC, like Josh Allen, like Burrow, like the probability of Lamar himself, all in the AFC, not winning a chip because Mahomes is in their conference. Becomes very likely. That speaks of someone being very deadly, very critical. He has a killer mindset. Don't let his baby face fool you. I give a slight edge to Mahomes, because any team that has Patrick Mahomes always has a chance. Every Super Bowl he's won, he's come back from double-digit deficits to win those chips. So if you're leading him by 14 points, by 10 points, it is not over until you see the confetti drop, similar to what the Buccaneers do. So yes, to answer your question, if he gets his fourth championship, then please, I will table that argument.
And that leads me to the question that we had during the production call, talking about another person apart from MJ. MJ, to most people, there's always this argument: MJ is the greatest basketballer of all time. And I told you, I said MJ is not even the second for me.
Your own ranking.
He's not even the second on my ranking.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hot take. Please, this is a hot take.
Yeah, MJ is not even the best. He's not even the second best in my humble opinion. Without a shadow of doubt, LeBron James is the best of all time. And I told you what my reasons are.
Yeah.
A 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old kid be asked that if you don't become a future of Hall of Famer, they're not even saying have a good career, have a decent career.
Yeah.
I tell you, you become a bust.
Yes.
I don't understand how much pressure you can put on a kid than that.
It can't get bigger than that.
It can't get bigger than that. And the guy came into the league. He showed us why LeBron had just one time that he was the favorite to win an NBA final that he did not win, that he lost. And that was against the Mavs.
Yes.
Every other one that LeBron lost, LeBron was supposed to lose it. LeBron came into the league, brought a dastardly or a terrible Cleveland, took them to the pinnacle where they could not dream of, and immediately he left. I can't remember the figures off the top of my head. That team did not win 20 games the following season. When our man MJ left the Bulls, the following season the Bulls still won, I think, 55 games.
They still got to the conference semifinals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are arguments and we come around and make it seem like MJ played just 6 seasons in his career. He did not, for crying out loud. MJ was nowhere to be found when Larry Bird was there. When Magic Johnson was dominating the era, MJ was nowhere to be found. He could not beat the bad boy Pistons. That's the truth. But LeBron is the only guy. And Kachi, I asked you one question one day, and the answer would give you is a shut off for you, as a matter of fact. I asked you that, what is the best NBA moment? And you know what your answer was, Kachi? You said that block by James.
Blocked by James.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
blocked by James. You said that was your biggest NBA moment. Yeah. And that's from 3-1 down. Come on.
Blocked by James. Without a doubt. The truth is, it's becoming more and more difficult.
And Karim is the second, as a matter of fact.
You are going to give me your top 5 after this. But Debo, I have to say this. As an MJ apologist, it's becoming more and more difficult to carry that argument. I'll say this because if we're ring watching, we definitely know that MJ has not or did not win the most rings as a
Exactly.
player. We have Wilt to
Bill.
consider in that era. What was giving us, or what has been the ammunition we had, was his dominance during that 6 year stretch. The fact that he three-peated on both occasions, number one. Number two, he never gave, like, MJ never played a game 7 in an NBA final. Never played a game 7. Never had. He was that clinical. But I also have to say this: as physical as MJ's era was, MJ was not playing against the caliber of talent that LeBron has had to face in his career. Yes, it was physical, but they became physical, or rather, the physicality compensated for the lack of talent. So it became just physical, right? So to answer your point, nothing will ever beat. I mean, imagine being the only exception to that statistics that no team has ever won the NBA finals coming from 3-1 down. I think it's like 41-1 or 45-1 or whatever that statistic, and being the lone person. I hear you. This is the same guy who is the youngest to achieve every milestone. 5,000 points, 10,000,
10,000.
15, 20.
Yeah.
The youngest. And I think it's just 450 or less than 400 points away from having the most career points, playoffs and regular
Players and
season or
regular season.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think so. It's not
No,
so
it's not
far
like you
away.
think so. That's the case. You're
He's
correct.
taking a bunch of bench carpenters and plumbers when in his first iteration as a Cleveland Cavalier, took them to the NBA Finals. They got swept by the Spurs. I don't think MJ would have taken that same team to a final.
So finals.
I get it. And what he is doing, I mean, just over the weekend, he averaged a 33-point triple-double at the MSG. At the MSG at
40-year
40
old.
years old. At 40 years old.
We know
He's
we know how it feels to be a 40-year old.
I
We
know.
know it.
I'm in my 40s. I wake up just by thinking about running. My leg hurts me just from thinking about it, not even actually running. So I know what it means to be selected as a starter. He got the second highest number of votes in the most recently concluded All-Star voting at 40
At
years
40
old.
years old.
This is his
It doesn't get better than that.
21st consecutive All-Star selection as a starter, still being the face of the league. And if the only thing everyone has against him really is that he lost 6 finals after playing in 10, then you can't win the lottery if you don't buy the ticket. He gave his team 10
That
different
chance.
opportunities to win that championship. So I'm still a LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm still an
SJ
MJ
guy.
apologist. But like I said, and I will say it again, it's becoming very, very difficult
It
to
is. It
defend that,
is.
especially when you consider that Michael Jordan himself admitted that he decided to do the Last Dance documentary after he saw LeBron James celebrate his 2016 championship against the Warriors.
Yeah.
That only tells you that he felt threatened enough
Threatened. Yeah.
to remind people of
Like
how great
I'm
he
still
was as well.
I'm still there.
Yeah.
I was watching Popeyes, right? And Popeyes said in the LBJ came into the league 2003, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And in 2002 All-Star games or 2001 All-Star games, Popeye said they said LBJ was good enough as an all-star
Yes,
starter. I was
yes,
like, what? You gotta be kidding me. We're not talking
yes.
about starting in the NBA.
No,
All-star
being an
starter.
all-star.
I'm like,
Yes,
it's like, what? Is this kid that good?
yes, yes.
Uh,
And the
uh,
discipline to remain. Just think about it this way: he's been in the league for 21 years, and he's been an all-star. No, he's been in the league for
for
22
22
years, and the only year he was not an all-star was his rookie year.
rookie year.
That is it. For the remaining 21 season, he has been an all-star and a starter, not just a roster player. It's a testament to
LBJ
longevity.
is
It's a
LBJ
testament to
is
discipline. I mean,
LBJ is
it
something
becomes,
else.
and say what you will, LeBron James has set. I mean, even uh, MJ didn't become a billionaire as an active player. Do you understand what it
Yeah,
means?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Having the shoe, the kind of shoe you have, break the kind of boundaries you break, you still didn't make the billion mark. Simply, I'm saying this to say LBJ has leveraged living in LA
In LA,
to
yeah.
and he has created generational wealth. Say what you will about nepotism, bringing his kids. If I own a business or if I own a franchise and I have the chance to bring my son in, my son is going to come in. Say what you will about whether
Of
Bronny
course.
is an NBA caliber player. It does not matter. Thanasis and Costas. Thanasis and Costas,
You got that.
all
Yeah.
they all have rings, and they were all G League caliber
But yeah,
players.
yeah,
They are
yeah.
all G League caliber players. So let's keep it that way.
Oh yeah, and for my five of all time definitely is going to be LBJ number one,
Mhm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number two,
Okay,
Michael Jordan without a shadow of doubt number three,
okay,
Bill Russell number four, most
okay,
definitely.
okay.
And because of the mentality, I can't shake it off. Is a cheat. Is a copycat, but at the same time, he has that crazy mentality.
Oh, Kobe.
Kobe Bryant.
So
Just because of that.
no Magic, no Larry, no
I'm sorry. I'm
no
sorry.
logo doesn't make it to
Who's logo?
former Laker great, who's the logo of the NBA, who just recently passed, the white assassin. Can't remember his name now, but
Je-
I'll try and remember. Yeah,
Jerry West.
Jerry. Jerry doesn't make it.
Jerry doesn't make it. I'll take Kobe above. For me,
Above Magic.
ah, damn.
So
Okay,
it's
okay,
arguable. It's
okay.
arguable. Let's not go there.
Magic number five. You convinced
Okay.
me. Magic number five before Kobe.
Okay.
I wanted to take Kobe because of that mentality.
Yeah,
Five
yeah,
rings.
yeah,
I know he's a copycat, but at the same
yeah.
time, he's a great player.
I think yeah,
I'll take Magic. I'll take
yeah.
Magic above.
I'll take Magic
I'll
as
take
in my
Magic
top five
above.
too.
Yeah, my top five. What
I think
about
it's
you? Yeah.
MJ, LeBron, Magic is my third best player.
Oh, okay.
Then Kobe, and then Shaq.
Then Shaq. So no Kareem, no
I'm
Will,
sorry. I'm sorry.
No Bill
I'm sorry.
Russell.
If we are going to knock Michael Jordan for the caliber of opposition he played against, then you can imagine the caliber of opposition Kareem and Magic and
Kareem
those guys
and the
played
rest.
against.
Yeah, it's arguable, but
Yeah,
yo, I don't I don't think we can keep arguing against
yeah.
LeBron.
It becomes difficult. It's
Yeah, it
becoming
becomes
difficult.
difficult. You might
Yeah,
be sentimental and be like, okay, this guy is not my best of all time. We can
yeah.
be sentimental about it,
Hmm.
but the hate that I see online for LBJ, and this is
Yeah.
what happens when I post LBJ. The age number of eight, and I like it because I get comment and engagement when I
Yeah,
post
yeah.
LBJ. I'm
Not
like,
only you,
I'm
every
like,
media person,
I'm like,
every media
I'm like,
channel.
why do you hate this guy so much? This guy he has defied all the. Anyways, don't let's waste our time so much. Let's stay in the NBA and the craziest thing. Kachi, you should give me respect. You should give me my flowers. I said this maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, maybe 3 years ago,
Hmm.
that Luka
He's a Laker.
is a Laker.
He's
And you and
Laker
Olali,
material.
and you're like, Olali, like, oh, he's an European. They are always satisfied for with where they
Yeah,
are. Blah
yeah,
blah blah blah
yeah.
blah blah. And that was
Hmm.
the argument. Like he was
Yes,
going to stay.
yes,
He was going to stay at Dallas. And
yes.
this morning, we did not even have the inkling
We didn't come. Nobody saw it coming.
that this was going to happen.
Hmm.
I'm like, yo, what? Luka to the Lakers and
Yes.
AD leaving. I'm like, okay, so like, what
I didn't
exactly are they thinking at?
I didn't see it coming.
Are they thinking at Dallas? Like Makuban and the rest of the guys at the GM or whatever. What are they
Yes.
thinking?
Yeah.
And what is because there's an argument like, okay, maybe Luca himself is not feeling too good anymore.
Mhm.
Um Consistent injury. Some people said he's having marital issue. some people said he's getting bloated up and whatnot. Like maybe they are just trading off a presumed good asset, but rotting inside. Right? It was my
Yeah.
MVP for last year.
Yeah.
Given that I did not play the number of games I was supposed to play, but it was still my best player last year. And I told
Right.
you, and I give you the reason
Yes.
why I think he was the best player.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel Luka is the replica of LeBron. If anybody is close to LeBron in the league, as it stands today, Luka
Right.
is the closest.
Less athletic, but yes, closest.
Exactly, he's the closest in terms of he's cerebral. He can do this. He can do basically everything that he can think of, whether as a short forward or as a PG. But what exactly are they taking in Dallas? Are they going all defensive? And how does this trade? Who is the winner in this trade?
Wow.
Because AD is injury prone. AD can just blow it on AD, and AD will be. But AD, don't forget, AD was good last year.
It is elite.
No, no. I'm talking about the number of games that he played
Yes. Yes.
last year.
It was available
He was
last year.
available last year.
Yes.
And this year, he has been available to the best of his ability. Wasn't like the way it was like 3-4 years ago,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we've seen an improvement even on AD side, and definitely, the Lakers are losing something that they cannot get from this trade in terms of rim protection, instead of that big forward that is going to help them, instead of that guy that will help them defensively.
Yes.
And they are putting in a LeBron and Luka that are both ball hoggers.
LeBron, Luka front court. Debo, to answer your question on who is the winner, this is how I will put it. The Mavs put their chips on the table. But let me take a slight moment to digress.
Okay.
That I still remain, and I wish Olawale was here, but I remain convinced that had the trade not happened the way it happened,
Yeah.
Luka could have retired the Mav. Let's not forget that Luka was not informed.
Praise me first, Kachi.
No, I'm not going to praise you because the argument we gave, Debo, the argument we gave you was Europeans typically don't force the issue.
But my prediction came to fruition.
Yes, okay. Oracle Debo for just 5 minutes. Oracle Debo for 5 minutes because yes, you saw it that Luka will look good in purple and gold. Now, I did not see it happening simply because of the demeanor of European players.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't force trade issues like we're seeing Jimmy Butler do. A European player would not do the Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So Luka was blindsided. AD himself was blindsided.
Yeah.
LeBron, and that was why I put on our website that this was a Rob Pelinka power move to let LeBron know now that I am the GM, you are just a player, and I will make roster moves behind your back.
Without consulting
It was a power play move, but let's leave that there. So yes, credit to you for seeing the possibility of this happening because I didn't see it happening due to the demeanor of European superstars.
Yeah.
But now that it has happened, who do I think are the immediate winners? I would say right now, hard to say. However, the intent of the moves of the Mavs makes the jury so out for them in the sense that the move the Mavs made is they looked at their roster and they said, we're a championship caliber roster that can win in the next 2 years, or we need to start playing defense. What better way to show our intent than to get arguably the best rim protector
in the league
right now in the league? So the Mavs are in a win now mentality, which means that if a championship ultimately does not come out of this in the short term, or let's say short to medium term, 1 to 3 seasons after this trade, then the Lakers ultimately become the biggest winners because there's something about Los Angeles that LA would always get a big star. And in the retirement of LeBron James, they have already secured their next biggest star for the next 9 seasons in Luka Doncic. There is something that will happen that will click in him that will get him to start playing ball. Let's not forget that Shaq was also a very lethargic guy when he came to LA, and then his game changed. Kobe was a crazy ball hogger, and then he somehow tweaked his game too. Let's not forget that. So something in LA
Make you just get better.
will make Luka ultimately get better. That I think they can hand over. They will gladly move on from LeBron simply because they have secured their
Secure the
next
future.
star. Let's not forget that there was an immediate need for AD to assume the face of the Laker franchise,
But he
which
couldn't.
AD just could not do. So for that, it is early to ask who the winner is. But ask me in 2 years' time if the Mavs win a chip, because AD has also done something to indicate, oh, Lakers, you guys are going to do this to me. Okay, I'm going to go all in. He has asked for his no trade. He has waived that no trade option, saving enough cap space for the Mavs to build around him. That would have
Mm,
cost the Mavs an extra $9.9 million a year, or if he got traded or something like that. But him doing that says, okay, I'm also all in. But now my question is this: while he was at the Lakers, AD himself complained about the needs to get a big,
yeah,
simply
they
because
needed it.
he doesn't like to play the
Play
big
big.
position
Yeah.
every time. He knows he can play it sometimes. But now, if he goes to the Mavs, guess what his daily bread and butter position will be?
Yeah.
It will be the big. So there might be interest in the short term, but the AD that complained about playing the five role every day at
I will.
some point will
Will
come
have
back.
saved. Yeah.
It will come back, and who knows what will happen to the Mavs then.
All
But for
right.
now, it's a blockbuster move. I never saw it coming.
Oh wow. Yeah. And of course we'll go to the All Star games. The All Star selections. Sorry, not the All Star games. The All Star selections,
Mhm.
and is looking catchy. You're trying to make an argument for a couple of your guys,
Yes.
and I'm looking at it. So I'm just going to
Mhm.
run through it. And the people Catchy is making argument for is Lamelo, and what's his name again? Trey
Trae
Young.
Young. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Eastern Conference. The starters are, of course, Jalen Brunson, who's probably
Mhm.
the best, maybe the best, right?
Best guard
Best
in the
guard
East right
in the
now for
East
me.
right now.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, unplayable. Jason Tatum, definitely because he's a Celtic guy.
Mhm.
Yanis, he has the pedigree. And
Mhm.
Carl Anthony Towns, of course.
Mhm.
And on
Yeah.
the reserve, Jalen Brown is definitely going to be there. You need
Mhm.
another Celtic guy.
Mhm.
Pascal Siakam, I
Mhm.
don't think he's deserving of it, of what I've seen so far this season.
Okay.
There was guideline, of course. The way the Cavs have been playing, you can even Immobile as well, even
Yeah.
Immobile as well, another Cav. Then
Mhm.
Kid Cunningham,
Mhm.
Disney Patriots, your hands are up. Tyler
Exactly.
Hero has been crazy so far this season.
Uh,
He has been crazy so far this season. That's one person I would want to see in LA if you ask me. Damian Lillard, uh, maybe not. I don't know why he's there. Maybe because of pedigree. I don't. He does not have that kind of pedigree. If you ask me. If you ask me, I stand to be corrected. He does not
yeah.
have
Yeah.
that kind of
Interesting.
pedigree to
Interesting.
say, oh, he has to be
To
there
start.
or not.
Mhm. Mhm.
Even on the reserve, he has not been terrific since he got
Okay.
to the
Okay.
box. So
Okay.
two of them, Siakam, I don't think he's deserving of it.
And
Damon,
Lillard.
you can argue against those two guys, right?
Okay.
But is,
Okay.
is your argument strong enough for Lamelo that is never available and Trey Young that just cannot? He's the best. He's the star of the show in ATL, no doubt about it. But you need to do something. You need to do something more.
Okay.
This guy
Okay.
can make that same argument for himself. Like, oh, I'm playing a very small market. The guys I'm playing with are not the best. I'm talking about what's his name again with the Cavs. Um,
Ivan Mobley.
no, not Ivan Mobley, their top guy.
Darius Garland.
No, their
No,
top guy.
Donovan
Donovan
Mitchell.
Mitchell. He can say
Okay.
that as well,
Okay.
right? So Trey needs to step up. Trey needs to step up to be considered all star.
But that is where I have an axe to grind with you guys.
Yeah,
The guy has stepped up consistently. No one in his position is averaging more points per game this
but
season.
it's not helping his
Right now.
franchise.
Right now. I know we argued this case. We've argued it so much. Is Kate Cunningham helping his franchise right now? Are the Pistons in a position to really make a deep run in the East? We can say the answer would be no
No, yeah, good
right now.
argument. Yeah.
So, Tyler Hero, if my man with the
Jimmy.
expensive coffee was not playing truancy this year, do you think Tyler would have been looked at? Probably not as well.
Probably not,
So,
yeah. But
so
Tyler has been crazy this year.
in the absence, see, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king. That is just what it is.
But the Heat have been playing well. That's the
That's what
problem.
I'm saying.
That's
In the land of the blind, you have to look. Oh, what could be the reason?
we need
Oh, it's not
we
the
need more
Olympic
from
winning.
Trey Young.
It's not the
Kachi,
Olympic winning Bam
Ka-
Adebayo. It has to be Tyler
We
Hero.
need more from Trey. That's the truth.
I think Trey has consistently delivered. This is the second
We need
season
more. He
Trey
needs to
Young has
he
been.
needs to carry the team. He needs to show
Do,
elite
do
mentality to
you
be an
okay?
all-star.
Let me put it this way for you. Apart from Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Yeah,
Jalen Brown,
yeah,
Pascal Siakam,
yeah,
Jason Tatum,
yeah.
no other player right now in the East has gotten to a conference final.
Yeah,
In that selection, okay, maybe Tyler Hero has gotten to an NBA
yeah,
final.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
apart from Tyler, so
With the
I call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apart from 5 players right now in this current Eastern Conference All-Star selection, no other player has a conference finals
experience.
experience. Trey Young has done it. The great Embiid that everybody is carrying like the next best thing after sliced bread, has not even smelt a conference final. Guess who defeated Embiid 3 seasons ago or whatever that
I
season
know what
was?
do you mean. Embiid played against the Raptors now. We
Okay,
defeated
Embiid
the
got the conference
76ers.
final.
Yeah,
Okay, I was wrong, but Embiid is not in the All-Star this year.
yeah.
But I'm saying the year when everybody thought the 76ers were going to be in the
Yeah,
finals,
yeah.
who clipped their wings? Who brought down their hand? So this guy consistently goes into the Madison Square Garden, the home of the Knicks, and silences the Knicks every time. So he has been dubbed a villain simply because he is not a fan favorite. That is all I'm saying. But his
Needs to leave.
numbers tells me something else. No,
Trey needs to leave. That's the truth.
if we keep saying everybody should leave the small market, then
Yeah,
move the entire franchise away from Atlanta. Move it to Las Vegas. You
he needs
can't
to leave.
blame the guy for
It looks
playing in
like
Atlanta.
Kachi, honestly, and I'm not trying to throw any span into your wheel. I'm looking at Lamelo Ball, right?
Mhm.
That's his name, right?
He's a small market boy.
No,
I can
no,
get him.
no. I'm looking at Lamelo.
Mhm.
I'm talking about in terms of
Impact,
no, not
popularity.
impact. In terms of talent
Mm-hmm.
in the East, in the East,
Mm-hmm.
in his position, Lamelo is top 5.
Yes, he is top two.
No, no,
Top two.
Overall, he has not done
Okay.
it for too long.
Okay.
He came into the league not quite long, right?
Okay.
But he's top 5
Mm-hmm.
in his position.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, if you're not available this year, next year you're available for just 40 games, 30 games out of 82. You know, you're not consistent enough. We've not seen you enough. Are we supposed to throw everybody into the All Stars?
Okay, Deva. So my question back to you, and I know
Yeah,
you are the one that threw the question to me. My question to you now is this: are we punishing Lamelo this season for his unavailability
in the
last two
past.
seasons?
Yeah, I think so.
Because for
I
this
think that's what they're
season,
doing.
if
Yeah, I think.
we isolate it and
Yeah,
say is the All-Star based on performance this season alone,
yeah.
then we have no reason for someone who was number 1 in his position in fans voting to
Not to be.
miss out
Yeah, yeah.
completely on a roster spot.
I agree with you about Lamelo.
So there is a punishment, a prejudiced punishment, or a biased punishment for unavailability for
Availability.
prior season. I get
Yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah.
with people get tired. We've argued, and one of the reasons why I can argue that LeBron should be number 1 is people got tired of giving LeBron the MVP votes. They got tired, and they didn't vote him out of prejudice. because there
Yeah.
were years consistently, years when LeBron should
Who
have
was
been
the best?
unanimous
Yeah.
MVP. He
Yeah.
didn't even crack the top three. And when you ask the voters, oh, what happened to LeBron? Oh, yes, statistically, he's having the best season. But LeBron has always been at the top. This is what we expect of him. So now we are now regularizing LaMelo's talent, forgetting that this guy is a top 2 pick that is
With the Eastern Conference.
producing the goods right now for a Charlotte Hornets team that is.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question. In the space in the grand scheme of things,
Mhm,
Dame, Lamelo, who are you
mhm.
picking for the All Stars?
For the All Star, I'll take LaMelo. They've
Okay.
turned it. I'm just saying right now, statistics is no longer counting.
No.
Popularity,
Fair enough.
popularity is what's counting. Yeah.
We both agree that I don't know how Siakam is there. I don't
Mhm,
expect Siakam to be there, and Dame is not. And I'm sorry to use the word. He's not elite enough to say, oh, he has to be there.
mhm,
It's not like he has a grand scheme um pedigree.
mhm,
Oh, he has been there, done that. He has not
mhm,
been there, done that anything.
mhm, mhm,
He was in a very small market. We understand that he's a good player, and he came to a bigger market, so to speak.
mhm.
He's not producing the goods. He's not helping
He's
the
won.
guy.
He's
He's
won an
not.
NBA Cup. He's won an NBA Cup.
Okay.
He's an NBA Cup champion. You can't.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry,
He's an NBA
sorry.
Cup
And
champion.
it was the
So
MVP. That.
yeah.
Anyways,
So come on.
let's leave that and move straight to the world of football when we talk about the UEFA Champions League playoff. The UEFA Champions League playoff is going to be a stunning one.
Wow.
We had and this is why I say so. Kachi, I want to start with the one that seemed like okay. Ah, it raises more questions than answer. Which is the game between Real Madrid and
Mhm.
Manchester City.
Manchester City.
Madrid is not Madrid is not the Madrid that we know.
They are not Madriding
They are
right
not they
now.
are not Madrid right now, and
Yes.
this simply because of their defense.
Yeah.
They've had so much injury, and they expect Ancelotti to produce wonders to
Mhm.
become the new Jesus Christ. Because that's the way I see it. I'm looking at Frank Garcia on the left hand side this weekend. Luis Vasquez, Rudiger had an injury,
Started, yes, and then
Sarri
got
had an
out.
injury, and it was playing Chouameni in the middle, in the center of the fence,
Defense,
right?
yeah.
David Alaba was on the bench, and when Rudiger had an injury, I forgot who came in.
Asensio.
For Asensio came in for. So it was. So if you look at that back, it was a makeshift back. Rudiger Vasquez is just there when you don't have someone that will play your right back, right?
Hmm.
Or when you're looking to attack more, that's why you use Luis Vasquez as your right back. Fragacia is not elite. Asensio
Yeah.
is a small boy. Chouameni is not even a center defender to start with.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And you expect these guys to produce the goods. So
Yeah.
if you look at that, and this is just in 2 weeks, the game is just in 2 weeks. And you
Yes.
look at Manchester City,
The
Kachi,
worst season it
if you
was.
ask anybody in their right senses, anybody that is not mad, 3 years ago
Mm.
or 4 years ago, and ask them that by 2025, Arsenal is going to defeat Man City 5-1
Mm-hmm.
at the MA. The first
Mm-hmm.
question you ask is Guardiola dead?
Mm.
That's the first question you will ask. Oh,
That's the
Guardiola is no longer the coach. Oh, okay, it's possible.
yeah, it's
But
possible.
everything is still the way it is, apart from Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And they were defeated 5-1 against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just I'm talking about the kind of psychological advantage they had over Arsenal over the
Yeah.
past 6 7 years.
Yes. Yes. Without a
It's
doubt.
been there. I'm not talking about just I have Saliba, you have Luz, whatever. I have this. I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about on paper. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about the psychological advantage itself.
Yes.
That's the only reason Arsenal could not defeat them in the first leg.
Yes.
You
Was
know. So
psychological. Yeah.
exactly. So Real Madrid, Man City, it's going to be a crazy matchup. They are both not what they want to be like
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like one is better than the other. Maybe Real Madrid have the slight advantage because they have Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Jude Bellingham, those quadrants. And maybe City are still struggling, but at the same time, it's still Guardiola, it's still City.
Yeah,
You can't take it away from them. And Madrid has a way of showing that this is our competition.
absolutely.
Which way are you swinging, Kachi, on this one, and
Uh,
why?
uh, the truth is, I'm swinging towards Madrid simply because they have the lesser of the troubles. Their trouble is not psychological as much as it is physical. For Madrid, I know they are trying to ease David Alaba back, and that's why he couldn't play back-to-back games after playing midweek, and even playing the weekend before, I think against Mallorca, if I remember clearly. I'm not sure now. Now, Madrid can comfortably field Asensio and David in the center of that center defensive pairing on that day, and let Lucas Vasquez do what he needs to do on the right side. There is a psychological issue with City now that has become so hard to overcome. Not by Pep, not even by his team. Whether it's from the loss of Rodri, whether it's the fact that that team did not get refreshed when it should have been refreshed at the end of last season.
Last season.
It's become a team that is so tired and still want. They said insanity is doing the same
Same
thing
thing, and
and
expecting a
expecting
different
a different result.
result.
Now, in the case of City, their insanity is doing the same thing and expecting the same result they got 2 years ago,
To
3 years ago, 4 years ago, when everybody were at their peak. Right now, they are all on the north side of 30. They are slower and they're still trying to play those highlights. They're still trying to play from the back. They are not being more direct. Club Brugge may have lost 3-1, but it did not feel like City defeated Club Brugge more than how whether Club Brugge lost the game.
the
They
game.
had the better chances. They just were not proficient enough in front of goal. That was the game, and I don't know if you saw me complain midweek.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was the
yeah.
game. That was the game I was made to watch, even when my team was being defeated by Dinamo Zagreb.
Yeah.
But let's leave that on the other side. So I'm leaning more towards my Real Madrid simply because one, it is Real Madrid's turn up bet right.
Bet right,
Number
yeah.
one. Number two, it is City. They have now seen City as a formidable opponent, such that even if City are not playing at their best now,
Yeah.
Madrid will not take them lightly. And it is
Mm-hmm.
the same approach that Arsenal used against City this weekend. City may not have been at their best, but Arsenal had an axe to grind and they went about their
Oh,
business the only way they knew how. So
yeah.
I will give it to City. The only thing that may give them a respite is that the game is not this week we're going in.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I think City plays another top six team. I'm not sure in the Premier League this week,
They have
the weekend before they play
before the
before
before
before the
the
playoff game. And I think if I can clearly remember, the first game is at the Etihad, the return leg is at the Bernabeu. I think Real Madrid will have, even if they lose that game, they
yeah.
will only lose by one goal and place themselves in such a good position to round it up at the Bernabeu. Madrid to go through for me.
Madrid to go through. Okay. Brest versus PSG.
Yeah, yeah. We are, let's not spend too much time on that. We saw a
We
dress
say it's
rehearsal of this
yeah,
competition. They are going to play each other 3 times in 4 weeks or in 3 weeks. The
yeah.
first one already showed us like a
What
microcosm
it
of
look
what
like?
it would be. 5-2 in favor of PSG.
Yeah,
PSG brimming on all confidence. They were supposed to be the one in such dire situation until
yeah.
they face City and
Hmm.
revive their
Yeah,
chances. I
yeah.
think they take
They
care
do
of
what they want.
Brest and they set themselves up for probably a deep run in this
Different
season's
in this season
Champions League.
Champions League. Monaco versus Benfica. That's a dicey
That
one.
that's a toss up. It could go either way. I think for me it would all ultimately depend on who takes care of their home game
Business.
better. I can't really stick out my neck, but because Benfica will be playing the return leg at their Stade del Dragao, I think Benfica gets it.
Okay, and who knew Juventus could score 4 goals in one game?
I never knew.
Kolomwani
Kolomwani, yeah,
is really living up to his early days, but at least he's
yes,
showing something that he could bring to the table that is different from what Juventus have been doing in the past couple of weeks or
yeah,
past couple of months. You know, I've been
yeah,
complaining about Juve.
yes,
They
yes.
were not losing, but they've been
But they were
terrible.
not winning either.
Yeah.
Yes, almost
Uh,
instant returns for Juventus though.
for
But
Juventus. So Juventus versus PSV.
I
You,
think this
you can't stick
game,
on Juve.
I don't want. I think Juve will stick it, especially if they get a 2-goal win at the start to rain to go to the return leg in
Holland
PSV. But we've seen what PSV
at the
did.
Philip Arena.
Yeah, we see what PSV did to mighty Liverpool
Uh huh.
on the during match day 8.
Yeah.
What it tells me, I'm not saying that means they will replicate that, but it tells me they will not be afraid to take the game to
To
Juventus.
Juventus.
So if Juventus just shows any sign of being
Weakness.
profligate
Yeah.
or profligacy from on their own part, and they don't take care of business and go there to the Philip Arena with a 2-goal lead, oh my, we might just see Juventus out in the
Juventus.
round of 16.
And your team AC Milan versus Feyenoord, second leg at
Yeah.
San Siro.
Yeah, second leg at San Siro. This is not a Milan side brimming with confidence right now. We're already hearing of internal ramblings about the method of Conceição right now. So, but this is a team that at least uh, restores a little bit of pride in not losing their home derby game
Game against
today,
Inter.
even though I think they let the game slip away. But for those who watch the game, they will tell you in the second half, Inter bombarded that Milan
Side.
goalpost, and we kind of knew the goal was coming.
Coming
But
at the end of the
if it had come in the 75th minute and it ended
minute.
in a 1-1 draw,
Yeah,
we'll
it's like
probably
been.
say okay.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
you have played that, held that defensive line up
For
until
so
the
long.
93rd minute,
Mm-hmm.
then that is why it feels like you dropped some points.
Yeah,
But on the balance of it, Inter are still the better team in Milan right now.
yeah.
All this to say that Milan would have to watch out for a young, exciting Feyenoord
Feyenoord.
team. They need to play Catenaccio. Don't even go out and try and win the game or get something in Holland. Leave there with a draw or with a one goal loss or whatever it is, and try and finish the game at the
At San
Milan
Siro.
at San Siro. Now I'm speaking with my heart and not my head. Until they prove me otherwise, I will stick with Milan in
With
this
Milan.
game. But
Yeah,
we'll see
and
what happens in the round of
one
the
that looks like
quarterfinals.
it could be dusted for on paper will be Bayern
Mhm.
Munich versus Celtic. Celtic,
No,
we know they can be good on their day, but
it's not
Bayern
Celtic.
does not bring of confidence themselves with their island. I don't know who is teaching these coaches, this brand new set of coaches, this
It's Pep.
island
It's Pep.
nonsense.
It's Pep. It's Pep. It's Pep Guardiola. They are almost all coming from. Let's not forget that Vincent Company is a Manchester City legend, but I think it's just him trying to play with more flair, and he's in doing that he's losing his Germanic steel.
Hmm.
This current Bayern Munich side does not appear to be physically imposing as other
Mm,
Bayern Munich teams have been
that
in
was
the
saying.
past. They are relying entirely on tactics and on flair, and they are losing that physical aspect. And it says a whole lot when players don't leave Bayern Munich mid-season. We're looking at Tal
Yeah,
about to leave very soon. It says a whole lot there. So there's that lack of stability is also causing a
causing.
little bit of drama. But I don't think this will be any problem. Over 2 legs, I don't care
Bayern,
what
yeah,
Celtic wants to do.
yeah,
This is Bayern's game to
to
lose until
lose.
they lose it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and Atalanta versus Club Brugge. I'm tipping towards Atalanta.
yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
obvious reasons.
Hmm.
Their coach, the way they play. Club Brugge could be difficult, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking Atalanta.
Yeah, Club Brugge hadn't lost any game until they lost that game against City. I think they've been unbeaten in almost 25 games or
Yeah,
so. So there's a lot of confidence. It's Onyedikachi has been a brilliant revelation this season in the middle of the park for them.
Yeah, for them. Yeah.
But Atalanta, for me, the issue, as with every other Italian team, is the consistency in performance. They blow hot one day, they blow cold the
The
next day.
next one.
Gasperini looks to have, I don't want to say
They don't have the
reached
they don't have the
his
quality.
limit
Yeah,
exactly.
they don't have
It
the
looks like he
quality.
has so many things he wants to do with that team, but he does not have the players.
Yeah,
And Atalanta is really not a buying club; they are a selling club.
selling club.
So
Yeah,
right now, no matter what he's thinking of doing,
yeah.
he doesn't have the players for it. He has a decent set of players, but the issue with them and the reason why those players left their home teams, I'm looking at Di Catalera, I'm looking
Yeah.
at the reason why they left was because they were not consistent in their performance. Now they brought that to Atalanta and we are seeing it replicate. But in spite of what I've said, this time I definitely would take Atalanta, especially because the return leg is in Italy.
Okay. And of course, the last one will be Dortmund versus Sporting. Nuri Sahin has been sacked already. Sporting are not beaming of confidence themselves.
Yeah,
Looks like anybody's game to take.
it's a
If you,
toss up. It's
yeah,
definitely a toss up.
if you win is if you win in Portugal, good for you, and you can always get at a draw at Dortmund.
It's a coin toss for me. It's difficult to pick out a sporting team that looks to be gradually finding its feet. If not for the loss of Amorim, this sporting team could have finished in the top eight. Let's just be very clear
Yeah.
because they seem to unravel after his departure. While Dortmund has not been consistent in performance. So let's give this game to whoever defends their home front.
On
And in
front.
that said, I will be undecided until I see the games.
All right, perfect. Of course, to the surprise package, and of course, I need to apologize to Nuno Espirito because when we were talking about the set of coaches that could be sacked first, his name came up. He
Yeah.
came up back then when the season started. They
Yes.
defeated Brighton and Hove, whooping 7-0.
Yes.
And this is where the EPL gets crazy, right? This Brighton defeated
Man U.
Bournemouth.
Oh, Bournemouth. Yeah.
Bournemouth
Yes. Bournemouth.
defeated
Yes.
defeated
Nottingham.
Nottingham for his 5-0.
5-0.
And it was like toss it up between the
Yeah.
three of them.
Yeah.
Liverpool are showing that they are the champions to be.
It's a
Um,
procession right now.
yeah, with but 2-0 victory against Bournemouth. I don't agree that the first goal was a penalty, and people keep knocking me because I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm like, what does being an Arsenal fan have to do with anything, right? But of course, they did themselves a wonder of good.
Mhm.
Salah, best player arguably in the world right now, based on current form,
Mhm.
scored another 2 goals. Everton defeated. David Moyes is back, as a matter of fact.
Oh, he's back.
Defeated. Yeah,
He's back.
Leicester City 4-0 at home. Ipswich Town lost at home against Southampton 1-2.
Mhm. Mhm.
Newcastle lost at home against Fulham
Fulham.
1-2 as well. While Wolves defeated Aston Villa 2-0. Ole Watkins, they said he was bidding for 60 million by Arsenal. I don't know what Arsenal is thinking, trying to go for the Watkins. He's 26 or 27 years old.
Mhm.
27 years old, I guess. I don't think he fits into what they are looking for. I'll prefer Kuna over him, or just
Mhm.
wait till someone gets a Sesko or gets
Victor Osimhen.
Gokeres or Victor Osimhen at the very least. And to the games today, Brentford lost at home surprisingly against Spurs.
Yes.
Spurs has been
Yes.
woeful for the
Mhm.
past couple of years. I think they are 14th on the table on the log right now.
Yes,
Two
they are.
nil. Manchester United can't stop losing. They lost again against Crystal Palace 2-0 at home. And what everybody keep asking was why did he start Kobe Manu as a first nine?
Mhm.
And my simple answer was maybe he's just trying to tell the board, see, I don't trust this.
I
I
don't
don't
have
have
the
a
right
striker.
players.
I don't
Yes.
have the right players. I think that is his way of telling them how they want to dig themselves out of this hole is what I don't understand, because
Mhm.
that means over the summer they are looking at spending at the very least three
$1 billion.
hundred million
One
pounds.
billion, £1 billion. £1 billion.
What is it,
That's it.
Bolo-
That
what is
that
it,
22
Boloje? What
that
bill?
22
What
team
billion?
needs an overhaul, Debo. Debo,
Exactly.
I think we need to first apologize to Ralph Ragnick. First of all, every pundit And I think we were pretty objective here.
Well, but
We
yeah, yeah.
mentioned we agreed with him when he said that
They did a
United
that's
needed an open heart surgery. Uh, for us, we thought it was just the players, but now we're finding out that it's gone beyond player. The culture, for some reason, declined and deteriorated in Carrington at some point, and I'm not sure exactly when. And we've seen managers that are now holding their head high in other places. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in Turkey.
yeah.
We're seeing people doing well after going through
After
the
going through,
debacle, their embarrassing debacle in United. I totally think that Ruben Amorim is saying there's no better way to pass my message than to use the media, to use my players, the bad players,
yeah.
and then say, okay, let me tear this thing down and rebuild from ground up. Because
How many times do they want to rebuild?
no, they were putting square pegs in round holes.
They spent like 300 million pounds over the summer.
And they
Uh,
still need to spend
or
three
like
times
or
more
like
than
700 million under ETH alone.
ETH. Yeah, I hear you, Debo.
Maybe
But
they shouldn't
what
have
what else
sacked
do you want me to
ETH.
say? What else do you want me to say?
Maybe they
We've
shouldn't have
seen
sacked ETH.
We've seen certain players, every coach has complained about them, these players, and the performance has not changed, whether you change the coach or not. Let's not absorb Rashford of any blame. Since he got his £300,000 a week contract, his performance has been on the decline. Harry Maguire has not inspired confidence. Bruno Fernandes, the most consistent player, has not been playing at an elite level.
Level for over two
And
years
then
now.
for over 2 years now. So, and the only person that did not let us know how bad things were was let go by the club in David De Gea, who is tearing up Serie A right now and probably would come back to the Spanish national team because that guy could have saved the Titanic from sinking. He's
Mm,
been an amazing player, but we've seen United unravel. Uh, it's very hard to dissect exactly what this issue is. I think what we are going to do, we're going to have a special News Instantas Sports edition where we bring our beloved Manchester United goalkeeper Sheyi Ajayi
mm,
and Olawale. So on their own side, they are the ones going on their podcast, their website, everything. They know the ins and outs more than we do,
yeah,
looking from
yeah,
outside to
yeah.
come and tell us what it is they are saying. Because when I listen to Hurricane, no, I said Hurricane, Roy Keane, and
Roy
when I
Keane.
listen to Gary Neville, when I listen to Robson the other day during the week, I listened to Wayne Rooney saying 2 years ago, he told Rashford, you need to leave the club. This is coming from the mouth of their own player. So there are certain things these guys see
That we
that we
don't.
are probably are not seeing, and they are masking it simply because they are living on past glory. But that club needs a tear down. It needs to go through a wilderness phase. Just lower your expectation. Constantly play only on Saturdays and your FA Cup and your Carling
Yeah,
Cup
I think they
until
need
you
that.
can become consistent.
Yeah, I think they need that. I think at this point we should just forget United as an
A
elite
European
club.
team.
Yeah, as
Yes.
an elite club, and let's lower the expectation.
Yes. Yes.
Let's forget about I think the fact that ETH won two trophies did not do them a word of favor.
Mhm.
Right? It did not do them any
It's the
favor.
same thing with Arsenal. The fact that Arteta won an FA Cup in his first year is what is putting pressure on this guy to deliver now.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
Arsenal team is still developing a spine
Spine.
that they
Yeah.
don't yet. They're going to get there. But that midfield, they need Rice and Partey to play 30 out of 38 games in the league every season.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
both rights. If they can't get that consistency in performance from their midfield enforcers, which in the case of Manchester United is totally missing because
United does not
they
even
don't
have
they don't
they
have
don't
this
even have an idea.
Casemiro. It's
They don't
Casemiro.
even they don't even have an idea what they want to do. Like
Exactly. So
today is going to be Ugarte and Casemiro, and everybody is to
yes.
be blamed, and they blame the players, and they blame the coaches, and they blame tomorrow they will blame Ineos. Next tomorrow is going to be what's the name of their owners. Every time it's just a different story.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it's embarrassing.
I really
It's
don't.
become embarrassing now.
It is embarrassing, honestly, if you ask. And of course, talking about a team that does not have a spine yet, we're talking about Arsenal versus Manchester City. City
Mhm.
is in crisis, no doubt about it. Crisis, what crisis? This is a big crisis. This is a big crisis. And the reason why I said it's a big crisis is the City of old. And I was telling my brother, I said, look, if KDB of yesteryears
Mhm.
was in that team, Arsenal would have
Mhm.
lost today, especially after City equalized.
Yeah.
They had the psychological advantage over them.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
had everything is changing with City, and this is it. They've already splashed 200 million this January alone. So there's money. It's not like the money is not there,
Mhm.
but like United, you just get confused. They have the best coach. They have the best coach probably in the last 10 years in
Mhm.
their corner. They still have some good players, quote and unquote.
Mhm.
It should not be this bad, right? We understand that everybody goes through these bad faces and
Phase,
whatnot, but
yeah.
it should not be this bad where I'm like they're now losing against Arsenal 5-1,
Not
and
even by a lone goal, by
yeah, not by
five
a logo,
goals.
not by 2
Yeah.
0 This is yeah, exactly. Honestly, this is what Arsenal used to be to Manchester City.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go to the Etihad, you come back with 6-0
Yeah.
dropping, 6-1
Yes.
6-1 dropping and whatnot. You it's sad. I'm happy that Guardiola is tasting a pill of his own medicine, but
Mhm.
a taste of his own medicine. But at the same time, it's sad because
It's sad. It
you're
is
like,
sad.
okay,
It is sad.
what else do they want to do? What else? What else do they want to do? Is
It
Guardiola going
is
to
sad,
play? Because
honestly.
I don't see what else they can do again, honestly. And this is a major crisis, if you ask me. Kachi.
Well, we'll see how it moves. I think sometimes even the best coaches they go through this valley period. We saw Arsene Wenger experience it consistently.
But Wenger does not
Uh,
have money. Don't talk about Wenger. Wenger does not have money. Wenger cannot
okay,
splash 200 million. If Wenger had 200 million to splash in January, Wenger will have at least a Champions League in his.
Wenger will not spend that money. He'll go and fix it.
He
He
does
will
not
go and
have the
fix
he
it.
does not have the money.
But on a more serious note, for City, uh, a lot of issues starting from the coaching. I think Pep, let's be honest, has stopped innovating. And it happens. He's going through a midlife crisis. We know what's happening on his
Yeah,
home
yeah,
front.
yeah,
But for me, the issue is how he has been unable to separate his personal life from his coaching life. It's so telling that I mean he's not the first to go through this, and I don't wish this on anyone. Trust me.
yeah,
Just and you have an idea, the issues going on in our personal lives and all
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and you kind of also know how it almost affects every other thing you're doing.
yeah.
And he's human. I get it, but this club looked like a well-oiled machine that even if you take Pep away,
He should be able to run by himself.
it's exact, and that is where I have an issue that it is no longer the organization. So they are pretty much telling me now that the success or failure of City is entirely dependent on Pep. That if Pep leaves now, which is what we're seeing with United, that the demand for excellence, the pursuit of excellence, the pressure to always excel that Sir Alex Ferguson put on his players
Hmm.
as soon as he left became difficult to replicate in United. It looks like that's what we're seeing. Pep may come back next year in a better frame of mind and
Yeah,
things will get back to normal. But it should be a warning sign to the organization of City that we don't have a self-functioning organization. We have a highly motivated coach who can bring the best out of his players. And should this coach leave, even with the same set of players, we cannot have replicated success.
complication. Yeah, and there you are saying it. Matete is scoring that goal against Manchester United. Kachi, any last one before we go on the show tonight?
Uh, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my man. Uh, I don't know how else to call him. I technically would call him Toronto Raptors. For some reason, I cannot remember his name now. The slam dunk king, uh,
Vincent Carter.
Vince Carter, who recently got his jersey, also retired by the Brooklyn Nets. It is no, I mean, it's very rare to find players get their jersey retired by two
True.
franchises.
Oh, no worry.
Um, they deserve
LeBron is
they
going to do
deserving all
four.
of. No, I
Four,
don't
right?
think the Heat. I don't think as long as Pat Riley is there, the Heat will never retire LeBron's jersey. So let's leave that out of it. But definitely is going to get his jersey on the Raptors in Cleveland. He's going to get his jersey in the Raptors in Los Angeles. Say what you will about him. After Kobe left, LeBron brought a championship. And see, guys, forget whatever it is you want to say. People may call it plastic, but I haven't lived a life of traveling and being away from my family for weeks on end. Know how difficult it is to focus on an objective and win a championship during the
Without,
COVID era,
without,
where
without support.
they were not interacting with anybody that was not in the bubble. That was the hardest championship individually to win. And then the 3-1 he did for the Cavs already cemented his status with the Cavaliers. I think he gets his jersey, at the very least, hung in the Raptors in two franchises. Then when Pat Riley dies, the Miami Heat will revisit it.
Anyways, that's a wrap up the show today. Thank you guys for staying tuned with us. Till we see you again next week. My name is Lani. This is Orakuka.